Let's now talk about linguistic underdeterminacy theory or hypothesis, which is based on a general proposition that whatever we say falls short of whatever we mean. I mean, the linguistic words do not convey the complete meanings which are there in our mind or which we actually want to say. So we always have a little expressionistic help to convey our actual meanings. If we move forward and see this expression of linguistic underdeterminacy has been quoted differently in various citations of linguistic or pragmatic knowledge. For example, it has been seen as semantic underdeterminacy or simple underdeterminacy hypothesis. There are many propositions on which this hypothesis or thesis is based on. For example, somebody might say that no sentences or very few sentences encode a unique proposition. That simply means that there are very few sentences, or probably no sentence is there, which would convey a certain meaning completely and thoroughly to all speakers. I mean, it's unique in a way that everybody would understand it in a similar or the same fashion. Another proposition in this regard could be that no eternal sentences or only a small portion of sentences are eternal. I mean, they would convey the same meaning in all situations. They remain eternal, unchanged, but we know we keep on using the same sentences for different meanings in different situations. So that leads us to involve the role of context or pragmatic inferences in our communication. So we could assume what linguistic underdeterminacy theory tells us, that not all sentences would convey all the meaning which are there in our mind. So what is encoded by the sentence falls short of the proposition expressed by the speaker. This is what may be seen as one of the major claims of linguistic underdeterminacy theory. In linguistic underdeterminacy theory, we can see there is a general agreement that for a hearer to arrive at a proposition expressed, reference must be assigned to indexicals and ambiguities in the expression used must be clarified. For example, in the sentence in front of you, if somebody says, I decided to sell the bat here last week. So we need to understand various indexicals here. For example, the word here. What does it mean by here? Here at a certain place, at which place, and the bat, which bat. And we should also know the date of the occurrence of this expression, so that we could identify what speaker means by the last week. So we would need so much inferential or contextual information to identify the correct meanings of this expression. And still, we might not be able to understand the complete meaning. The linguistic underdeterminacy theory or thesis is also the claim that even abstracting away from indexicals, ambiguities, the proposition expressed by the speaker in uttering a sentence goes beyond the linguistic meaning of the sentence. This is what I started with in this module, that our actual meanings go beyond the words which we have uttered. So there could be more related to the meaning as compared to what is said in normal conversation. Typical examples of such underdeterminacies or such expressions which do not convey complete information may be seen in the following sentences. And in these sentences, you could see the things which are written in the bracket, in parentheses, is that information which is still desired by these expressions. For example, in the first one you can say, John is ready for. John is ready, but for what? We need to know that John is ready for what. Then it is raining. Where? John has eaten what, how much, when, this evening, today, in his lifetime. I mean, there's so many things which would still be desired to be added in order to convey, if not complete, a reasonable understanding of the sentence. Then this pen is red. We are not sure that the speaker wants to say, is it the color, outer color of the pen which is red, or the ink which is being filled in the pen is red. Many would say that a linguistic material, for example, in the sentence, John has eaten is enough to convey a certain information. But we can see that this is not enough, because yes, we can understand John has eaten. It means he has eaten a meal, and that might suffice. But it depends on the listeners. In many listeners' mind, there would still be many questions which would not be answered by this simple expression. Sentences must be uttered, must be enriched by pragmatic inference to arrive at the proposition expressed. Therefore, based on such incompleteness in conveying the meaning, we usually recommend, or the experts recommend, that expression must be enriched or must be filled in by some pragmatic or contextual information, so that the listener is able to understand the actual meaning. It is important to take into account the background knowledge and other clues to the speaker's intention. And that's where pragmatic or detailed pragmatics comes into play. That we do agree, and most of us might agree, that there is an element of linguistic underdeterminacy, that all expressions do not convey the intended meaning of the speaker. In this regard, the listener will have to keep in mind the contextual information, inferential information, and also the background knowledge in which a certain expression is being uttered, and moreover, the intention of the speaker under which he conveys a certain expression. Therefore, linguistic underdeterminacy can be dealt with by adding up the contextual information.